Listen, man, a quarterback can't do it by himself. He needs the pieces around him. We saw that with, Justin Fields.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Freaks. I'm Jason, he's Vaz, and today we're talking about a couple of players that I used to have ranked differently, but I'm switching my rankings on J.J. McCarthy and Drake Maye. There's been some news lately that I want to get into, as well as some transactions in a league that Vaz and I are in together. We're going to get into that as to why I have switched my rankings on them. But first, Vaz, you've got an announcement that you want to make.
That's right, Jason. So Jason and I are putting together a best ball league for our listeners. It will be free to enter. All you have to do to enter this league is make sure you are subscribed to the channel, you like the video, and you comment in the video who you prefer between J.J. McCarthy and Drake Maye. If you do so, you will enter into this free listeners league on Sleeper. We are planning a 14-team league. Jason and I will be in the league as well with 12 of our listeners, and it will be a best ball league. The draft will be starting at the beginning of August. So if you'd like to enter, it's free to do so. Just comment down below between who you prefer, J.J. McCarthy or Drake Maye, and we will be selecting 12 listeners to join us in this free best ball league with a first place prize of a free entry into a best ball league next season.
Okay, and of course, the most important thing, if you win, you have bragging rights over us in this redraft league. So get in there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. So please do join us.
Now, I can't do it for you. The inches we need are everywhere around us. What are you going to do?
Like! Subscribe! Subscribe!
Vaz, we are in one dynasty league together. It is a 14-team league that has two flex. It's a super flex with two extra flex, as well as a 2 tight end league. And in this league, I was trying to acquire Sam Darnold. Recently, there's been a lot of news that has been saying that Sam Darnold is likely to be the starter. Before the draft and maybe over the last month or so, I think it was a little bit hazy. I think people assumed that J.J. McCarthy was going to be the starter or was going to start very quickly. But as we've been getting into the news more and more recently, it seems like Darnold is going to be the starter. And ideally, from Kevin O'Connell's perspective, he would like Darnold to start the entire season, meaning that he wants McCarthy on the bench. Now, I think that's the biggest reason why McCarthy, in a lot of people's minds, was ranked higher than Drake Maye after the NFL draft. But now with this new news that McCarthy might not play much, if at all, in his first season, I'm using that to switch their rankings. So I am now putting Drake Maye ahead of McCarthy. And in our league that I was referring to, I tried to go out and acquire Sam Darnold. And I thought, I made a feeler offer by offering a 4th round pick and a 5th round pick to acquire Sam Darnold. And immediately the owner with Darnold said to me, I've already got a better offer than that. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what. Best offer I can give you is I'll give you a 3rd and a 4th for Darnold. And then that owner told me that I've already got an offer of a 2nd round pick. So unless you're going to beat that, I'm going to probably take that. I thought it was a 2nd round pick. I couldn't believe that somebody was actually offering more. Someone's higher on Darnold than me based on this information. And lo and behold, not only was it a 2nd round pick, after looking at who it was that made that deal, because this trade went through now, I felt that 2nd round pick would probably end up being a lottery 2nd round pick. So a lottery 2nd round pick for Sam Darnold. At least one owner is even higher on Darnold than me. Have you been following the news with what Kevin O'Connell has been talking about with the Darnold situation? And I believe you were like me where you had McCarthy ahead of Drake Maye. How are you on their rankings right now?
Yeah, I mean, very interesting. Like that was a shocking trade to see. I don't like it one bit. I feel like if you're trading for Sam Darnold, I just don't get it. Like, are you going to put him in your starting lineup? Like, do you want him to be a weekly starter for you? I guess in that offense, he could be. Like, he could give you some solid production just because of the weapons around him. But like, we know what Sam Darnold is. I think you dodged a bullet here, Jason. I wouldn't trade a third and a fourth for Sam Darnold. So I think you dodged a bullet here. But in terms of like JJ McCarthy versus Drake May, I understand what you're saying and I understand why you're switching them. And you know what? For the longest time, I've felt like the black sheep, because everybody seems to have Drake May ahead of JJ McCarthy, and I'm kind of the opposite.
Yeah. And I was with
Uh,
you.
yeah, right. Yeah, we were both the black sheep there, but I I still have JJ McCarthy ahead of him until I see it on the field that like maybe JJ McCarthy isn't as good as I mean, I'm not sure if he's good or not, but the reason he's there for me is because of the situation. Like, listen, man, a quarterback can't do it by himself. He needs the pieces around him. We saw that with like, Justin Fields. He needs the pieces around him, and JJ McCarthy has that. Like, he doesn't need to be an amazing talent because he's got TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, and the best receiver in football to throw the ball to. So who does Drake May have? Like it's just for me, it's just the team. Like it's the pieces around him. When I watched Drake May's tape from last season, I didn't see a spectacular quarterback either. I understand. Like I feel a little bit. I'm a little bit unsure of myself just because I heard the rumors of the Giants, trying to trade massive amount of picks to move up for Drake May. So NFL teams are very high on him, and he went third overall. So I have to like be aware of that. I have to put that into context, but just in terms of like the pieces that the quarterbacks have around them, and then like they both have the high draft capital, I still have JJ McCarthy ahead of Drake May.
Okay, so a couple of things that I want to mention is you mentioned the draft capital that the Giants, as an example, were trying to offer in order to get Drake May from the Patriots. Now,
Yeah.
one thing that I'll add to that is this is draft capital and stuff that they were trying to use in order to get May, but not McCarthy, right? Because they could
Yeah,
have
right.
done the same thing to get McCarthy, but they didn't. So they obviously view May as being that much higher than McCarthy. Now that's part one, right? But once again, the reason that I was thinking, okay, I'm going to put McCarthy ahead of May was because similar to what you were saying just now, in terms of look at the weapons he's got in Minnesota, it's the ideal landing spot. And, if you're the starter there, then you've got a great future ahead of you. But my issue is O'Connell being as high as he is right now on Darnold. He saw the game when Darnold played some garbage minutes for the 49ers against the Ravens. I think, who was it? Alex Breer was talking with Rich Eisen, and he was saying that he talked with O'Connell, and he said, like, I thought that was a different quarterback than what we've seen at his previous two stops in Carolina and with the Jets. And O'Connell said, that's exactly why we went out and got him. So, like, he's got an opinion of Darnold being different than the previous two stops to San Francisco. He sees something different. And, I think that there is a legitimate threat that Darnold could, basically not allow McCarthy to ever get on the field, or, just that could become a muddled situation, whereas there's no chance of that whatsoever with New England. I'm not saying that Darnold is going to, beat out McCarthy and McCarthy becomes a bum because of it. But what I'm saying is that there's zero chance of that in New England with Tyrod Taylor being there. And then I think it's obvious that New England's going to be one of the lowest teams. And because of that, they'll probably add like a top wide receiver in next year's draft as well, is what I'm imagining. So if we're thinking for, let's say, a year later, I just feel like Drake May is going to be a safer player to have now than McCarthy based on what's taken place over the last month.
Okay, well, first of all, let me correct you for a second. Jacoby Brissett is a starter in New England.
Sorry, yeah, I was thinking, Taylor.
It's all good. It's all good. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're just in the exact same situation. I think like Jacoby Brissett is going to start, and they want him to play the whole season if he's decent. They'd prefer to sit Drake May all season long if they can. I think that's best for Drake May's value as well, because if he comes in, I don't think he's going to perform well with the weapons they have. But then like Sam Darnold, God damn, Sam Darnold. We know what Sam Darnold is. I just don't get it. Like we know what Sam Darnold is. If you have him, sell him now while people like Jason exist, because he's not going to be worth very much much for very long. I firmly believe that. Listen, like, so what if he starts, like this season, maybe he looks decent because the weapons around him, prop him up. But like they used top 10 draft capital on JJ McCarthy. He's going to be given every opportunity, every opportunity. Sam Darnold's not that guy. What's going to happen is Sam Darnold may start, but like this, as soon as they lose a game, everyone's going to be clamoring for JJ McCarthy, everybody. And then he's going to come in. He's going to get a couple years to show us what he's got, and he's either going to be it or he's not. And if he's not, they're going to find somebody else. But like, it's not Sam Darnold. Okay, Sam Darnold is a backup. So if you have Sam Darnold now, try to, if you can get a second round pick for him, do that. Absolutely. If you can get, I would do it for a third personally. But like, just in terms of like the JJ McCarthy versus Drake Maye debate, listen, I'm going to just be perfectly honest. I have no idea if one will hit, if one will miss, if both will hit, if both will bust. I have no idea. Like we've seen in the past that there's probably about a 50% hit rate at this stage for quarterbacks. So likely one will hit and one won't. And I don't know which one it'll be, but I know that from their tape, I was, lukewarm on both of them. But JJ McCarthy landed in an excellent situation. It's going to be difficult to fail with those weapons. He just has to be a game manager. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL now that I don't believe are that talented, but have, gotten massive contracts because they have great teams around them. Like Tua, for example. I don't believe in Tua's talent, but he's throwing to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So like, he's performing well and he's probably going to get paid handsomely. So like, I just think that JJ McCarthy is set up to succeed with the talent around him and with the coaching staff around him. I think he's the play. Like Drake Maye, I understand he's the more talented player. He's got the higher upside. Definitely got a higher upside. He's got a big arm. He can make all the throws. I get that. So I understand why teams wanted him. I understand why he was a top 3 pick because of the upside. We saw that before with Josh Allen. But there's also the bust potential there, especially with the roster around him. So for me, as a betting man, I'm going to bet on the talent around JJ McCarthy. So he's still above Drake Maye in my rankings.
Okay, so you are still higher on McCarthy than Maye. I'm switching it over. I'm taking Maye over McCarthy right now. But what do you think? I know it's pretty close. Like Keep Trade Cut has McCarthy as QB 19, Drake Maye as QB 18. So the community seems to be very close on it as well. Let us know what you think. Which quarterback do you like and why? And we're talking long-term here for SuperFlex Dynasty. And remember, let us know as well whether you want to be in with our fantasy league together as well. Let us know in the comment section. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us next time for another edition of Fantasy Football Freaks.